The richest person you know might be the person you would never guess. It probably isn't the guy driving the most expensive car in the neighborhood. It isn't necessarily the person wearing a luxury watch or posting pictures from expensive hotels. Real wealth often looks surprisingly ordinary. It can look like an old car, a modest house, a simple lifestyle, and someone who never seems stressed when an unexpected bill arrives. That's the thing about wealth. The more financially secure someone becomes, the less they feel the need to prove it. There is a massive difference between looking rich and actually being wealthy. Once you understand that distinction, you start seeing money completely differently. Looking rich versus being wealthy. Think about an expensive car. Let's say someone buys a $50,000 vehicle. From the outside, it looks impressive. What people don't see is the monthly payment, the interest, the insurance, and the opportunity cost of that money. Now, imagine someone else drives a 10-year-old car. It isn't exciting. Nobody turns around to look at it. But that person invests $700 every month instead of putting it toward a car payment. After years of doing that consistently, the difference becomes enormous. One person has an asset that is rapidly losing value. The other has an investment portfolio quietly compounding in the background. And here's the uncomfortable part. The second person may actually look poorer. We have been conditioned to measure wealth by what we can see: cars, clothes, watches. But those items only reveal what someone spent. They don't tell you what someone owns. You are looking at the receipt, not the bank account. The power of simple habits. This is why the traditional picture of a millionaire is so misleading. Many wealthy people came from ordinary professions: teachers, accountants, small business owners. How did they build their wealth? There wasn't a magical investment or a secret trick that made them rich overnight. For many of them, the formula was simple. They spent less than they earned. They avoided unnecessary debt. They invested consistently, and they kept doing it for decades. That's it. That is precisely why this strategy doesn't get enough attention. It's boring. There is nothing thrilling about investing the same amount every month for 30 years. But boring can be exceptionally powerful. The compound effect and automation. The real engine behind this is compound growth. Imagine you invest $1,000. Your original investment grows. Eventually, the gains start earning gains of their own. At first, it feels slow. But over time, the growth comes from the money your money has already made. That is why time is so critical. A person who starts investing at 25 doesn't have to invest dramatically more than someone who starts at 35. They simply possess time. Someone might become wealthy at 55, and people assume it happened overnight. The truth is, they started quietly at 25. Nobody noticed, nobody cared. But decades of small decisions finally became visible. Building wealth doesn't require incredible willpower every single day. Motivation fluctuates. Sometimes you are tired. Sometimes you just want to spend. The smarter approach is to make the important decision once and automate it. Set up an automatic transfer. The moment your paycheck arrives, money moves into savings or investments automatically. You don't ask if you should invest this month. It already happened. Make the smart decision automatic. Make the reckless decision inconvenient. Protecting your wealth. Investing isn't the only boring habit that matters. Cash matters too. An emergency fund may be one of the least exciting things you can build, but it protects everything else you work for. If your income suddenly disappears, having several months of living expenses sitting safely in cash turns a catastrophe into a manageable problem. Without that cushion, you might have to borrow money or sell investments during a market downturn. An emergency fund isn't about earning high yields, it's about protecting your peace of mind. Debt is another area where wealthy habits look boring. High-interest debt destroys wealth quickly because compound interest works both ways. When your investments compound, the growth works for you. When expensive debt compounds, the growth works against you. Avoiding lifestyle inflation. This brings us to one of the biggest enemies of wealth: lifestyle inflation. Imagine someone receives a raise, increasing their income by $1,000 a month. They immediately move into a pricier apartment, upgrade their car, take lavish vacations. That extra $1,000 disappears. Their income increased, but their financial position barely changed. People who build real wealth decide what enough means. When their income increases, they don't automatically scale up their lifestyle proportionally. They allocate a portion of that extra money toward investments and financial security. The goal isn't to live miserably. It's to stop turning every raise into another permanent monthly obligation. Freedom is far more valuable than another expensive possession. Consider someone earning $200,000 a year with a luxury car and designer clothes. From the outside, everyone assumes they are wealthy. But if their mortgage is massive, their car payments are high, and they have almost nothing invested, their lifestyle could collapse overnight if their income disappeared. Now imagine a teacher who bought a modest house, drove reliable cars, saved consistently, and avoided debt. They might have millions sitting quietly in retirement accounts. Which person is actually richer? The answer isn't visible from the driveway. Boring strategies win. Warren Buffett famously maintained a modest lifestyle, living in the same Omaha house for decades, despite being one of the richest people in the world. He doesn't need his lifestyle to communicate his net worth. The financial world constantly promotes the opposite. New stocks, cryptocurrencies, high-frequency strategies. Excitement sells. Patience doesn't. Nobody makes a viral advertisement saying, invest the same amount every month and wait 30 years. Yet the person jumping from one risky trend to another may have exciting stories. Meanwhile, the consistent investor quietly builds real wealth. Social media distorts our view of money. You see someone's luxury purchases, but you don't see their debt, their lack of savings, or their financial stress. Meanwhile, the person with true financial security has nothing to prove online. What real wealth truly looks like. Real wealth looks like sleeping peacefully through unexpected bills. It looks like surviving a job loss without panic. It looks like having choices. Money isn't about owning more stuff. It's about buying back your time, reducing fear, and having options. You can't post a picture of financial peace. You can't take a selfie with freedom. But those things are worth more than anything in a luxury showroom. Building wealth doesn't require genius, $1 million salary, or perfect market timing. You need a system. Spend less than you earn. Build a solid emergency fund. Avoid high-interest debt. Invest consistently. Control lifestyle inflation. And give your investments time to grow. These steps aren't exciting. That's precisely why they work. They are accessible to ordinary people. The person who looks rich may be spending their future to look successful today, while the person who looks ordinary may be quietly buying their freedom. Real wealth doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need flashy logos. It doesn't need an audience. Sometimes, real wealth looks incredibly boring, and that is the entire point. While everyone else is trying to look rich, the smartest people are quietly becoming free. Don't spend your future trying to impress people in the present. Build quietly, invest patiently, and let your financial freedom speak for itself.